This is News 8 Football Frenzy.
Week 1, night number 2, a double dose of football frenzy to kick off the season.
Last night, our Frenzy crews had you covered with highlights from more than 20 games, and we have another impressive slate coming your way tonight. One of our spotlight games tonight pits Muskegon and East Kentwood.
Jack Doles joining us live from Kentwood tonight. Jack.
Yeah, Brian and Susan, we're going to see great quality players all over West Michigan all season long. The talent level in West Michigan has risen so much that college coaches are coming here more and more to recruit. And recruiting analysts like Alan True, one of the best in the business, writes for 24/7 Sports. He's joined us in the past. He does it again to break down his top 10 players in our viewing area. Here are players 6 through 10. Alan True is the Midwest recruiting analyst for 24/7 Sports. And we've done this a few times now, Alan. Always love to pick your brain for your top 10. So let's go 10 through 1 on West Michigan talent. And at number 10, you've got Miles Walton from Muskegon.
Yeah, somewhat rare 4-year varsity starter. He's been an impact guy for the Big Reds since his freshman year. That was as a cornerback. He's been a really strong return man, and then this year we're going to see him play some quarterback. And you know that the Big Reds love to give their quarterbacks chances to make plays, even if that's not what they're going to be in college. We've seen it with Khalil Pimpleton, seen it with Ladarius Jefferson. Miles Walton probably going to be a defensive back in college, but poised to have a huge year this year as a quarterback. Looking at several MAC schools right now, and I think that a big season on both sides of the ball could bring some new suitors to the table as well.
Yeah, incredible playmaker. I'm not sure there's a school with a bigger wealth of talent on the lines around here than Grand Haven. At number 9, you've got Dane Arnett.
Yeah, it may be a little bit overshadowed by his teammate that's headed to Michigan State, but you go watch a Grand Haven game, and Dane is making plays on both sides of the ball as well. Not only an outstanding offensive lineman, but a great defensive lineman as well. And I think schools are a little bit split maybe on what to do with him, but he's 6'5", 255 pounds, so you can use that size on either side of the football. Has an offer from Central Michigan along with a couple other schools, and like Miles, I think a big senior season could bring some new programs to the table as well.
All right, Portage Central, listen there. Your next 2 players, number 8, Tyler Stolski.
Yeah, he's headed off to Lehigh, a great student. So he turned down a couple of FBS Division I schools to go play at Lehigh. Academics was a big part of that. But at 6'3", 225 pounds, he's a big linebacker. But he's a guy, whenever we've seen him at camps or dropping into coverage in games, is able to do that even at that size. So he's not just a run stopper. He's a guy who could stay out there for all 3 downs, and that's huge in today's game. So not only a great football player, but a great student as well.
And what do you like about Cross Watson?
Well, Cross was another guy, another great student athlete who had some Ivy League offers, had some MAC offers, and then impressed schools enough this spring and summer into picking up a couple Power 5 offers, including Purdue, which is where he's headed off to. So he's going to play in the Big Ten, 6'5", 270 pounds, athletic enough to play outside, but could play guard too if they need him to. Just a really great all-around player who I think is going to have a huge senior year. Yeah, we expect Rockford to be really good. Cade Costas leads the way for them. Yeah, they could have had a couple players on this list, to be honest. Really good team coming back. But Cade is a guy who, came to football a little bit later than some of the other guys on this list, but quickly picked it up. Not just the game itself, but the work it takes in the offseason to do that. He's a weight room guy, big, strong, physical player who can run. He's headed off to Central Michigan. Originally was a linebacker, but I think he's moving more towards the defensive line, where I think they could move him around, but can really get after the quarterback. And he was really good in Rockford's win over Sterling Heights-Stevenson last night. Ellen will join us again at 6. We'll break down players 1 through 5, includes at least 1 Spartan and a member of the Fighting Irish. Also tonight on the Football Frenzy, highlights of up to 15 games for you. Our spotlights right here at East Kentwood, and Muskegon. Also right now at the Big House, Hudsonville's taking on Saline. Last score I had, Hudsonville leading that 23-13 in the second half. Another spotlight on Grand Rapids Christian hosting South Christian. So make sure you join us for a second night of the Football Frenzy in Week 1. If we can keep the lightning and all that stuff away, that would make us really happy.
Small request, yeah.
We'll work on that. Yeah.
All right, Jack. Looking forward to it. Thank you. Make sure you are tuning in tonight for the best high school football coverage you'll see in West Michigan. Jack, Larry, and Seth will have highlights from all over the area. That's tonight at 11 on Wood TV 8.
This is News 8 Football Frenzy.
Yeah, we had so much fun last night. We're going to do it again. The first Friday night football frenzy. One of our spotlight games tonight is here at East Kentwood. The Falcons hosting the Muskegon Big Reds. This should be a really good matchup. The Big Reds feel like they've got an axe to grind. They didn't make it to the Ford Field last year, which, as crazy as it sounds, is kind of unthinkable in Muskegon. Year in and year out, this is one of the best programs in the state. The winningest program in the Michigan history. For Shane Fairfield, expectations are just as high, and they will lean on that rich tradition.
What helps is the fact that it's tradition, and a lot of these guys, I've coached a lot of their brothers, I've coached their uncles. You know, family is thick here, and there's an expectation. There's an expectation when you're Port City and Lakeside that you're going to, you know, be a Big Red, and you're going to play at Hackley Stadium, and you're going to win a lot of football games. So that's the biggest thing for us is just the tradition does it for us, and then we just set the bar. We have an expectation.
Yeah, but I told you the truth. All right, so Muskegon, East Kentwood. We're also going to put a spotlight on Hudsonville and Saline at the Big House. Hudsonville lost that game 34-30. Highlights on the Football Frenzy. Also, South Christian at Grand Rapids Christian. Highlights of up to 15 games for you tonight on a Friday night Football Frenzy. Well, to help get you familiar with the best players in West Michigan and a Wood TVA viewing area, we're calling on 24/7 Sports' Alan True at 5:30. He introduced us to his players 6 through 10. Here are his top 5. All right, Alan True from 24/7 Sports joins us again. Now, Alan, we want your top 5 players, starting at number 5, Kalamazoo Central's Sincere Lewis.
Yeah, a guy who's been on the varsity for a long time down there as well, and a long, big body type at 6'3". I think he's growing more towards a linebacker. Started off as a safety, but schools love backers who can cover. That's him. He's going to be able to grow into that body. He's headed off to Cincinnati, where they've had a lot of success with guys like him. Luke Fickle is a defensive-minded coach, so I think he's going to do really well on the next level. But first, going to have a big senior year for Central.
Yeah, Battle Creek Lakeview cornerback Jarris McIntosh.
Yeah, big. You know, you can't have enough size in your defensive backfield. He's 6'2", over 190 pounds, and a guy who's traveled around and competed at a lot of different events, has been to a lot of camps, 7-on-7s, training sessions. And, you know, you talk about him a lot as a secondary recruit, but for Lakeview, also a big-time player on the offensive side of the ball. So a two-way guy, hardly ever comes off the field for them, and one of the best two-way players in the state.
All right, at number 3, Tag Bonema from Zeeland East. I know he's Western Michigan bound, right?
Yeah, he's going to join his brother Boone down there in Kalamazoo, and Tag's a kid, another one who's been playing varsity since his freshman year. Now, you know, 6'4" plus, almost 6'5", 220 pounds. Has played some linebacker, but has played some defensive line last season. I think that's what he's ultimately going to be down the line. They're going to put the weight on him, and he's going to be rushing the quarterback. But a big, good athlete who's played multiple sports.
All right, Grand Haven next. Ashton Lepo, Michigan State commit. What does he bring to the table?
Well, first, you can't miss him. He's 6'7" and every bit of that. And last year, I think he started the season around 240 pounds. He's going to enter the year at 270-plus pounds. He's really taken to the weight room this offseason, put on good weight. He looks every bit the part of a Big Ten left tackle, off to play for Michigan State, where they've developed guys with similar body types and skill sets to him before. Trajectory is heading upward on that one. He has done a great job of molding himself into the player he is today.
All right, and your number 1 player from Catholic Central, Nolan Ziegler, headed to Notre Dame next year.
Yeah, and another guy who's played special teams. He's played some offense. I think you'll probably see him playing even more offense this year with Jason Williams not out there catching passes anymore. Just a great player at 6'3", 195 pounds, probably going to grow into a linebacker at the next level, but still athletic enough to play safety. They're going to be able to move him around at Notre Dame, but I expect him to really step up and have a huge year for Catholic Central. He's had 2 good seasons for them already, but like I said, with some of the guys that they had graduated last year, I expect Nolan to have a big year in pretty much every phase of the game.
Alan, you've been doing this for a while now. Are you seeing West Michigan as more of a player in the recruiting game with major colleges?
I do. I think the more that the talent in the area has gone off to college and even the pros and done well, the more it's drawn recruiters to this side of the state. And I mentioned some of the guys on this list traveling, going to camps, going to other places for training and competing against players outside of the area in the offseason. I think all of that plays a part, and I do think the talent around here has gotten better and it's gotten more recognition.